15th of December and we are heading from Jaipur to Bikaner. So Rajasthan is divided mainly into two regions called the Mewar and the Marwar. So we were in the Mewar region till now. So Mewar has mountain ranges, lakes, rivers and greenery, whereas Marwar is called the land of death and it is a lot dry and is full of sand. So we are heading to the sandy region and we will reach the Thar Desert at the end. The roads were flat and dry, the weather was excellent, chilly winter morning, traffic was minimal, so we could easily do more than 130 kilometers per hour. Our first destination in Bikaner was the Junagadh fort, so let's catch up. Junagadh fort was majestic, the interiors were really rich and the artifacts were worth seeing. The next and I would say the biggest attraction of Bikaner is the Rampuria Haveli, built by the wealthy merchant family Rampuria in the 15th century. The mesmerizing design of the Haveli is surely going to take your breath away.
And while you are in Bikaner, do not forget to have the famous Bikaneri chaats and snacks, and do pick some pappers and pickles from Bikaner on your way back home. After a brief visit to the Lalgarh Palace in Bikaner, we proceeded towards the famous rat temple in Deshnook. Yes, rats are roaming around everywhere in the temple. Catch a glimpse. So after Bikaner, it was time to head towards Jaisalmer through Pokhran. Yes, Pokhran is the place where India tested its nuclear armaments way back in the 90s, and Jaisalmer is the place of the great Indian desert, the Thar Desert. Yes, and we have the famous Shonar Kella over there. So I'm talking about the Golden Fort in Jaisalmer, where Satyajit Ray shot his famous film Shonar Kella, which was based on his detective novel of Feluda. So we will see the Golden Fort very soon. Focusing back on the highway, you can see that the landscape has changed. There's sand all around the highway and it can't get flatter than this. You can see it's absolutely dry and flat, and you can see, I think, over a mile if you just look straight, it's absolutely perpendicular and you can see till the horizon on all ends. So it's really a boon to drive on such a highway. You can see the speed as well, and of course, yup, the wind blast is also playing as a deterrent to the high speed. So after having our lunch in Pokhran, we proceeded towards Jaisalmer. The sun is setting down, but we could manage to visit the Jaisalmer War Museum. India and Pakistan had fought a lot of wars in this region, and the museum bears all the artifacts related to those wars and conflicts. We reached Jaisalmer and we booked a tent in the Sam Dunes as they call it, which is 50 kilometers from Jaisalmer. The nights were extremely chilly, though it was November end, but still the nights were extremely chilly. And on the contrary, we were just getting roasted during the day. It was so hot. From the Sam dunes in Jaisalmer, we proceeded towards Tanot and Longewala. So the Longewala is the battlefield where India and Pakistan fought a couple of wars, and Tanot is the last Indian village. After that, it's the Pakistan border. So Tanot is the place where the Indo-Pakistan War was fought in 1965, and we have the Tanot temple as well. None of the Pakistani shells fired at this post detonated. So this is the Thar Desert, and far off you can see some white hut-like structures. So these are the Swiss tents, and we were staying in one of them. So we have so many Swiss tents in this region of Sam, which is, as I said, 50 kilometers away from Jaisalmer. At 10 a.m. in the morning, it was not that hot, but as you reach the middle of the day, at 12 noon, you will definitely get roasted unless and until you're wearing a full sleeve shirt or a jacket to cover yourself up from the UV rays. So the desert jeep safari was quite a fun. We went deep into the desert regions, and the astonishing part is that we still have villages in these remote corners of India. So from the main road, you will not be able to know that whether there is a village lying deep within the desert sands. Navigation is always a challenge in such landscapes where we do not have any landmarks to follow. So we have to depend on the experience of the local drivers. So after seeing the Thar Desert and camping at Sam, we are now heading back to Jaisalmer. We actually didn't stop at Jaisalmer, but now we are going back there. We will take a day's break, and we will see the Shonar Kella or the Golden Fort. This is the speciality of Indian roads: battle with cattle. So after going through some rough patch through the village roads, we connect to the road which leads us to Jaisalmer. So this is built under the Bharatmala initiative of the central government, and you can see how nice the road is. Yup, looks brilliant. The view on both the sides, awesome. No shops, no restaurants, nothing around. As you can see, no refreshment centers. It's just barren, flat piece of land, and we can see sand and some thorny shrubs all around. So here we are at Jaisalmer at the Golden Fort, and it's a living fort in India where more than 5,000 Brahmin and Rajput descendants from the king's era are still living in the fort. Astonishing fact.